just a quick notice from me before we get into today's episode that it was all filmed pre-lockdown, so please don't get at me in the comments. But stay at home, stay safe, and subscribe. They're the 3 main S's that you need in this time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Sparky, what did you have for... Classic.
Hello,
what did you have for
this
breakfast?
guy's a professional.
Hey. Hello and welcome back to episode 5 of the Jordan Ritchie podcast, and today I've got my very good friend Sparky from Gem FM, and he also does some YouTube, he does some podcasts, and yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I was going to just start off by like little kind of interesting quick question, and that is kind of like, how did you get into broadcasting?
Well, I mean, I suppose since I was young, I've always wanted to be. I feel like I wanted to be a kids' TV presenter when I was like really young. And
did you have any ideas for like game shows or anything like that?
No, just I feel like I just knew I could be a character on a show. I just not a character, but you know what I mean. Like I just knew I had something to give. I was always the class clown at school. I was always the entertainer, you know, and I suppose when I decided I wanted to get into radios, I went to uni. After taking a year out of education, I was going to go to full-time work as a bookseller. Like I was going to pursue that career, and then I thought, no, I've got more to offer. Went to uni, found student radio, and I was like, this is amazing. I felt like so powerful being able to influence people by saying, I love this album, and then someone responding saying, yeah, I love this album too. You know, this was before Facebook, Jordan. Before Facebook had really kicked off, so you really had power on that little student radio station, and
before the gram was popping.
Before the gram was popping, before everyone was an influencer. Like I could be an influencer on my little student radio. So that really kicked it off. And then, I just really threw myself into, right, how am I going to get myself a professional job? How am I going to get this for real? And I emailed all the local radio stations. I'm from down south, I'm from Portsmouth, and there's a radio station, it was called Power FM there. I emailed them. I always listened to that growing up as well. And it was amazing because I ended up getting a job there. They invited us down for like an open day. Yeah. And I feel like this is what's important if you're a creative person, is you got to try and stand out. And so we went for this day, and I was like, this is an opportunity in a live radio station. How can I make these people remember me? Yeah. And I was just, do you know what? I was just really, really honest. They put a little couple of tasks for us to do. They put a task on like... Hold on, I'm getting a bit waffly.
It's cool. I like it. It's a podcast, isn't it?
They put us a task on where it was like, this is an advert for our radio station. What's wrong with it? Or like, what would you change about it? And I changed everything about it because I didn't think it sounded right. Yeah. And the guy was like, and I think that's what they were doing. They were looking for someone who would be really, really honest. Yeah. And I'd say that's been the number one thing that's helped me with my career. Like, on my breakfast radio show, on my podcast, and which I've just started my YouTube channel, which you mentioned, is just being honest about actually how I really feel, how I really am, wear my heart on my sleeve, and that I feel like is a skill that every broadcaster needs.
Well, I was going to say as well, actually, like if we're going in already, and I love it. And that's like, I think that this culture is kind of like with a lot of, it's like quite a lot of fake stuff at the moment, and I think that the authenticity that especially you bring, I think that makes you stand out quite a lot, because I think that you can kind of just look at it and go, well, this is like a real person, and that's how they would see it.
Well, I think that's the most important bit. People don't mean to be fake on Instagram. It's designed to make you try and be cool. Like, let's be real, right? You know, you see that thing that goes, me on my LinkedIn, me on my Facebook, me on my Instagram, you know, that's true. Yeah. Because I used to do Snapchat, I never would think about being cool for some reason, but when I changed to doing Insta stories, I instantly felt like I needed to put a filter on it. But I feel like being honest, being real, the things that you're probably most insecure about yourself, it's getting your head around that. Is the things that probably make you most insecure about yourself are your traits that people love you for. Of course. Like, you know, like I'm quite loud. Yeah, I'm not always factual, but I'll give you an opinion. Right? But those things, like, they're my strengths, and I think it's important to just be honest in reality TV. That's how it wins. That's why we like Gogglebox, isn't it? Like Gogglebox, you can't get more real than that. You haven't got a platform to be fake. You've just got to watch the telly and react to it. Yeah.
And so obviously you've been around kind of broadcasting and YouTube and podcasts for a while, and we actually spoke a little bit off this podcast, and we were saying about kind of like being a bit insecure about sort of like some people's comments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did kind of want to know, like, how do you deal with them, like, on a level, like?
I mean, I do get upset about this. I feel like it's in this current world where we've had everything that's happened. With online trolling and all of that. It's out so big, but it doesn't stop people. Like the thing is, like, doing radio is like we're offering out the text number all the time. So here you go, here's our number. Shout some abuse at us if you want. Basically, or you see that on Twitter and Facebook. There's the comment section. But I
will tell my producer to stop.
Turn comments off on this, please. I don't need anybody down the bottom abusing me.
we just can't.
But mate, how I deal with it, as I suppose, is I try and back myself. I've managed to get here from not changing those things about myself, and I've managed to maintain a career for 13 years. I think this is going into my 13th year of broadcasting.
That's impressive.
Well, yeah, mate, straight out of uni. So yeah, I graduated in 2007, and I walked straight into a radio job.
Wow.
From doing 2 years of volunteering beforehand, and I've been doing it 13 years, and so you do grow a thick skin. But at first, that's the bit that upsets me, I suppose. When I get defensive, it's like, well, hold on. I'm here on a breakfast radio show. I'm tired. I'm just trying my best. Like, I don't think that I'm funnier than anyone. I don't think I'm, but people who get paid a lot of money think I am, and they put me in that position to do that job, right?
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to do is bring a smile to your face in the morning. I'm definitely not trying to offend you. You should know that by now if you listen to, but that's it. Sometimes people make it about them and turn it into an attack on you.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to deal with that though, innit, really, because it's sometimes just a little bit like, again, I've literally posted, even for this podcast, for me, it's like I'm literally trying to do this to like for a bit of a laugh and a bit of
creativity to try and I don't know, make it sounds too like make the world more fun, but no, but just to interact more. We've got all of this technology these days where we can just instantly speak to each other. You could have people comment on this from the other side of the world, like that happens with our podcast, and that's amazing. Like when we have people message from our podcast, like from Australia or from someone from South Park, Colorado, listen to our podcast, and I was just like, this is amazing. Like we're connecting the world. So why is that a negative thing? Why are these small-minded people who haven't got the balls to set up a camera and to try and broadcast to people they don't know? Like, why are they the commenters? Why can they say what they want? Like, back up, mate.
Well, yeah, and as you're saying, it's kind of just backing yourself in it, really. Because that was the question I was going to ask. Is kind of from someone, even myself, is someone that I would take from this. But it's like you're setting up your own stuff. You're maybe a young creative. You're maybe trying to get into presenting yourself. Yeah. It is one of those of like, it was a question I was going to ask you of like, what some of the tips you'd give them or whatever. But I think the main one that we've already spoken about is kind of just backing yourself, really.
And sticking with backing yourself.
Sure.
There are days where you will feel like, I'm an idiot. I'm not even funny. Like, what am I doing this for? Like, what am I doing this for? But it's the ones that stay consistent are the ones that make it. The ones that go, I back this. Like, Piers Morgan, people like that. I mean, weird example. But I don't know why he came into my head. But, he everyone's got an opinion about him, good, bad, or whatever. Everyone knows who Piers Morgan is. So he has excelled in what he's been trying to do. He's got himself out there.
And excelled at being a horrendous person. But that's my opinion. No, but then it's interesting, isn't it?
But he's trying to start conversation. I mean, I totally agree. I feel like 90% of the time he's an absolute. But I think, he's put himself out there. And he's not, when I say back yourself, he backs himself. When he's getting involved in a controversial conversation, he's still happy to go, I know what I'm saying is a bit dodgy, but look, it's created a conversation that we all need to have, right?
I do quite like that about him, is he always looks, he comes back and he's like, whoa, devil's advocate over here. I'm just, you know what I mean? And I do kind of like that about him, because he's just always a bit like, I'm going to be annoying, but I'm doing it for a reason. And I kind of appreciate it. Yeah,
I mean, it's weird. I mean, everyone's got their own traits, but it's like, but he's got to be a notch up then from that Katie Hopkins. I know why I'm saying her name. But you know what I mean? That's the personification of evil, that.
And in your last little bit, you were speaking about consistency, right? And I feel that that's something that especially you and Joe, obviously on The Breakfast Show, you've kind of got to have that trait, because it's Monday to Friday. It's every morning. First of all, I don't get how you're getting out of bed at 4 a.m. to get yourself there for 5 maybe. And you've got to be all guns blazing at that time in the morning. Like,
sometimes I don't know how I do it myself. But then, I mean, that's it. It's passion, isn't it? It's like this job is something, like I said, from when I was a kid. I knew I had something to offer as a presenter, and it's still there now. And there'll be mornings, when it's pouring down with rain in the middle of winter, and the first thing you hear after your alarm's gone off, is just the rain smashing into your window, and you're like, I don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
But then actually, the greatest thing about our job is it can cheer you up in any situation.
Of course.
So sometimes even when I'm ill, like if I'm not like contagious, I'll still go to work because I know it's a 4-hour show. We've got songs to play which you can get through. Yeah. But also I will the energy I feel from going in to do the show will make me better than just lying in my bed feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah, and a little bit of context for some of the people that maybe don't know.
Yeah.
Is that I used to work on the breakfast show with you.
Sure did.
And we had some amazing moments. Are you allowed to have bacon yet?
Yeah, we were allowed bacon. So we actually got the bacon crisper now, mate, fully on flex. But then actually Joe's gone on a new diet, so Fast 800. So we've stopped the bacon, but we had a good consistent 8-month flex of scrambled eggs and bacon in the microwave for breakfast.
Yeah, until I was constantly getting told off for... it was the microwaves, wasn't it?
It was because Jordan, right? You know, these youth these days, they don't know how to clean up.
I'm going to be brutally honest. I fully thought, there's me in my head going, right, do the most, right? Go into that kitchen and clean, fam. Like, I'm going in, I'm scrubbing, I'm doing my thing. Paul comes up, the producer. I'm naming and shaming. And he comes up and he's just like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you need to clean it. And I'm like, I was kind of looking at him, and you know when you're like, I have cleaned. And that's when you know how bad your cleaning is that you've had to go back in and go, actually, this isn't clean.
Yeah, but no one really knows how to clean properly till they become 30, right? Like, I really feel like all the way through my 20s, I wasn't a good cleaner.
Yeah, I'm really glad that this isn't in my flat, because I think you'd just be walking around going, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be cooking bacon in my house in the microwave every day if I'd have to clean it out. It's only it's work.
Yeah. We'll get Jordan to do it.
Hey, well, that's what we get you people in for, right?
But obviously, we're talking about the show, and so I just wanted to know a little bit. Is what are some of your favourite moments from the breakfast show?
I don't like it. Sometimes the ones that catch you off guard, like we always try and, for me, it's like you try and do a big thing on the show. Like you'll try and do a couple of weeks of thinking, and sometimes you might not get much buy-in, but then you'll just say something off the cuff and everyone jumps on it and stuff. But I guess I don't know what some of my favourite bits of the breakfast shows. Like we attempted a world record for smashing pumpkins, which was really cool.
I remember that actually. Yeah, that was cool.
And we would have broken the world record if I'd used the right implement. Right, that's the thing that's getting about. Yeah,
is that what happened with it?
So I used a cricket bat to smash over 50 pumpkins, I think it was.
This one was outside the Motorpoint.
Outside Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham. Yeah, did that. Smashed it. I was so excited. Sent it all off to Guinness because you've got to video it. You've got to do it all so properly. Yeah. And they were like, "Yep, this would have been an official record, but you should have used the hammer, not a cricket bat." And so so they just surely it's a new record though. Most pumpkin smash with a cricket bat, but Guinness weren't having it. I've not got my certificate. I'm not in the big book. But that there's
would you want to do it again with a
hammer? I don't know if I'd be able to do it with a hammer. To be fair, like the swing I got on that cricket bat, mate.
I want to be honest. It's a really weird because obviously I actually helped set some of that up, and then putting it away as well. It's really weird. I didn't know how heavy smashed pumpkins were going to be. Yeah. I can't remember how many there were that were
I think
smashed.
It was 50. I think we had 50. I think that was the aim.
But lifting up a tarpaulin of all of those smashed up, I was literally like, oh my goodness, this is really heavy, and I didn't expect it.
Jordan, I'd just like to say thanks for cleaning up my mess. I didn't know that was your job after me. But what a guy, because I did make a mess. I nearly fell over my own mess as I was smashing
But it was a great time. I really, for some weird reason, I loved it, and there was loads of people out there that were willing you on.
Do you know what? And that's the great thing about radio is just that connection. It's people who get involved. My favourite thing I will always say is I'm so thankful for anyone that texts the show, sends a message to the show. Yeah, good ones.
Yeah, because of that negativity.
Because it's so. Then I feel like I've made a difference. Because that's my job. My job is to try and put a smile on someone's face on their way to work, whatever they're going through in their life. And sometimes you receive some amazing messages, people who've gone through a tough time. There was someone who's overcoming cancer, and it was 4 months ago I was diagnosed with cancer. I listened to you every day. I was going in every time I was going to hospital for my treatment, and I swear to you guys put me in the best mood before I got to work. And
that is amazing.
Stuff like that you just don't think about. Catches you off guard, and you kind of feel actually, I'm doing more than just being a an idiot in the morning trying to make people smile. Like, I'm actually part of people's lives.
Yeah, and that's a really uplifting story, and it's kind of, again, you go back to the previous conversation we were just having about, you know, having that sort of motivation that when the wind is smashing against your windows and you don't really want to get out of bed, it's kind of odd. Again, as you're saying, I'm not just being an idiot.
It's just my duty to get out there and like everyone else is going to be feeling like this morning.
Yeah, so, of course.
Yeah, I'm a morning person. You see, I'm the opposite of those people you see on memes where it says like, you know, I wake up and then I need an hour before I can talk to anybody, or, you know, don't speak to me before I've had a coffee.
I'm going to be honest, that is me.
And I'm the opposite of that. Like, and I don't know where I got this skill from. I don't know how I got it, but
I really want that skill, man, because like honestly, I'm getting ready for even just this. It's like I'm having a shower, slapping my face, like, drinking coffee, going, "Come on, man! Like you gotta be you." Like giving myself a proper motivational talk. Yeah, and it's like I really want that skill. I really do. But then I probably have a skill in terms of like, for me, when I'm, you know, in the night, I can be up till like 4 a.m. Like just absolutely like.
So you're a night person.
Yeah.
So that's it. So
I'm just the opposite, really.
Yeah, it goes one way, but I do think that is a skill set. And I think sometimes in the negative text you'll get is sometimes people will go like, "How are you so happy? This is fake." Well, do you know what? I've been doing it for 13 years. It's definitely not fake. It's all part of my like ability to. Yeah, it's just about being happy. It's like a skill set. It's like the guy that's running the circus, or you know, everyone's got their little trait which their personality fits. You know, so George, you should just work overnight somewhere, like Mackey's drive-through at 4 a.m.
That's my new job, guys.
Have you got the personality for it, mate?
Hey, would you like fries with that? But yeah, no, it's. I was gonna say something. I'll stray away from it a little bit. But the comments that some people. So obviously, I used to be on the phones on the show and stuff like that. And some people, man, are just incredible. Like they'd be ringing you up, being like, "I want to speak to Sparky right now," and I'm like, "Oh, I can't really do that." Like he's literally in the middle of doing his radio show, and he's talking to maybe even another listener, and he's no, I'm speaking to him right now. The way that he spoke about that song, it's just not on. And I'm like, what are you on about? Like, he was like, I don't really like Katy Perry. And he said that he liked it and I want to speak to him. Like, I'm not even joking. I've had these phone calls and I'm just a bit kind of like, I get it, like, but you really need to drop this now because...
For me, this is the thing I don't understand is, right, if I watch a TV show and I don't like it, I turn it over. I don't think, oh, right, 1 second. I'm just going to get the contact details up for blooming Channel 4. Have a go at someone. And then, because do you know what, mate? The world don't revolve around you. Same, if you see a Facebook post that you don't like, keep on scrolling. Just scroll. You don't have to comment. Just because the comment bar's there doesn't mean you have to say something. And move.
And that was always my favourite. That was always my favourite moment. It's just like, I actually just can't believe you've bothered to ring in and talk to me about Katy Perry. Like, I'm not bothered.
Hey, hold on. Which Katy Perry song did I say? We need to edit this bit out.
So you also do a podcast as well. It's called I Secretly Recorded My Boyfriend.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
Which I just want to let you know that's about your co-host, Joe.
Yeah, not my boyfriend.
I was going to say.
He's a secret. No, I've got a secret. No. That's a different story.
That could be quite interesting to reveal on the Jordan Ritchie podcast.
No, mate, the podcast is amazing. Joe, her boyfriend's a brummie. He's hilarious.
But so obviously it's I Secretly Recorded.
He doesn't know.
He seriously still doesn't know?
No, he doesn't know. So that's how it works, right? So basically...
That is incredible.
She's got this app on her phone where, like we all have, like the record thing. And the kind of premise comes from...
Voice memo.
The premise comes from... He was coming out with so much hilarious stuff. I mean, people have it with their partners, don't they? You think, oh, did you just really say that?
Yeah.
So obviously, being broadcasters, we thought, hold on, there's an opportunity in this.
Well, I thought this, and so I got some quite expensive lights, 2 microphones, and went, do you know what? I'm gonna make a show out of it.
There's something in this, exactly, and that's what you do. And I mean, it's hilarious. Some of the things he comes out, like, check it out, have a listen, like just normal relationship problems, I'd say, or just everyday life situations, like not knowing when his Joe's birthday is, and she's just like recording him having a conversation, like, so when's my birthday again? And like things like that, or just his reaction to things. Like recently, they were booking a holiday to the Caribbean, and just some of the things he
Listen to that one. I listened to that one.
Let's
It's
just say
good.
he's expecting to see Mr. Motivator when he goes on holiday.
Yeah, he really goes for it, doesn't he? And I love it.
But it's the most innocent, lovely, raw, human. Like if he knew about it, he wouldn't be that funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's unedited and it's kind of done in good faith. We're not trying to destroy anybody's personality. Do you know what I mean? Like we're sharing how funny this man is. And when he finds out about it, he's going to probably be a bit embarrassed. But at the same time, he's going to be like, actually, people think I'm funny.
I really, really hope it gets to like. So what? We're on like episode 77.
I think 70. Yeah, up in the 70s. We've got listeners in Australia, South Park, Colorado. That made me chuffed just that we sent a letter. Some stickers that we send to someone in Colorado, and they're just like, this is mental.
But so I just love the way that he doesn't know, and he's the premise of the show, and someone in Colorado knows about it. What a good idea. Like, it's a great idea from Joe. It's an incredible idea.
And I think, so I'm going to end two ways, isn't it? In a lawsuit where he's going to sue us. But because if you like Carl Pilkington and if you like that sort of thing from like which Ricky Gervais used to do, like I feel he's a Carl Pilkington type guy. Very honest.
Yeah.
Speaks his mind, but he's funny with the terms of phrase he comes out. Like he calls a bra a boob holder. There's one example, one exclusive thing. But all sorts of things like that. It's just the way he comes out with it, you will be sniggering.
Yeah, it's from what I've been listening to, it is just like, because I think when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, this is like a really good idea. I want to get involved, like in terms of like listening to it.
Yeah.
And then the more and more like recently that I've got into it, I've just been like, this is incredible. Like that. Then there was half of me that this is why I kind of wanted to ask some of the questions. I was like, the fact that he doesn't know just makes this show so much better.
And the listeners really join in with that bit too. And if like Joe sounds too casual on bits, like where he nearly does find out. It's like last week he was like, "Why have you got your phone in your hand all your time now?" Like,
well, that was my next question. I was going to be like, do you reckon he's actually going to clock on in terms of, because I would have thought there might have been a little bit of, you've always got your phone near me, like kind of, and obviously she's probably trying to be very secretive about it, sure. But
but the modern day world, I suppose we've all kind of got our phones around us quite close. True. So that's one way she gets away with it.
Is it going to get to a point where there's going to be like, stop bugging, like random sort of...
Well, I mean, we can't really afford that technology yet, George. We're waiting for us to be big in Dubai and other countries, and then we'll pick up on that. But
sponsorship.
You know what I mean? He's a very funny bloke, and we're lucky. Like, then the three of us, me, Joe, and Katie, we just sort of like, I end up most of the time defending men because I feel like I'm defending him.
Or
Joe's
singing Pompeii supporters.
Oh, Pompey songs.
Like, yeah. That was one of my bits. I was just like listening to it, just like they're just singing songs. Because I skipped I listened to some of it and then skipped a little bit because I was going to play a game. But I realised it might be a little bit too difficult to do, which I was going to like play a game of who said this, and I was going to get little quotes.
Don't do that. I've got a memory like a fish, mate.
And then I was thinking that this just could be really difficult to kind of, And I mean, obviously as well with 77 episodes, it might be just a little bit like, oh, you said this in like episode 3? And it's like, because I get it all the time where I do another podcast with my dad and people will come up and talk to me about something. I'm like, I honestly cannot remember saying that. And then literally that's the last episode. It's not even like we've done 2 series. It's like that's not from series 1, episode 3. That's from the
yesterday.
Last one.
That's mate. Like that happens too though. Like that happens with the radio show when people come up and go, "Oh, I loved it when you did this," and I'd be like,
I can't remember doing that.
Like, I must have been really tired that day.
Speaking of your radio show, like obviously creating content. Right, you've obviously got to be creative, and you've obviously got to kind of keep the churning kind of ideas going. Do you ever find that there gets a point where there's like almost like a bit of a writer's block between
100%. Yeah, like 100%. It's so hard, like 5 days a week. This is what again, another thing that bothers me. It's like anyone who wants to take a cheap pop at us, try and do that for a week, right? Go fill 4 hours of radio content, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
and not offend anybody, make everybody happy, like do it
Yeah,
and see
yeah.
how hard that is. But yeah, I mean, definitely you get to points where you get worried, like, oh God, I have not done anything. Like, especially like in the run up to, I've just had a baby. So when my partner was pregnant, we didn't go out half as much as we did. We didn't go to the theatre, to the movies as much, which are all the things we need to talk about as content.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, oh man, I'm drying up of content. But actually, it's amazing where you'll find content. It's everywhere. Like, the next time you go to the gym or the next time you stand in the queue at the post office, something will happen that it's relatable. And I suppose that's my key job is to be relatable. So
Of course.
you've got that sense of the day often happens. You often can just go onto the news websites and find a story. And just for me and Joe, one thing we try and really do is find a unique angle, because obviously there's a million radio shows and but that same news coming out to everybody every day. So what are we going to say that's so different?
But I think that's where you guys are very good at it. And also, like, when I was working on the show, it was almost like how quickly you could find that unique angle as well. I felt in some ways it was quite impressive.
But I mean, that's weird. There's one of my old producers used to say this, and he'd be like, and I don't know. And again, it's talking. How can this be a skill? Like, it's talking, right?
Yeah.
And how can I get paid to do this? Like, and that's again about backing yourself. And you go, well, hold on. And my old producer would say, it's weird. We'd sit and plan the show, and then we go to air, and when the mics are on, you guys would just put that presenter sprinkle on the top. And I don't know what that is. I don't know where it comes from. But when that light's on and I'm talking, that's it. It flows out sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just what we're about.
And it's even like, for me, it's kind of like, I'm obviously not going to show you, but the notes that I have had for the interviews, I've almost gone into them sometimes a little bit like, I just do not have enough things to talk about. And then you kind of forget that human element of a lot of the people that I'm talking to like to talk. So you kind of, again, you put up the microphones and it's like, oh yeah, we're just having a conversation, and it's flowing quite naturally, and you're like, oh, sweet.
You find natural areas to jump in on, or if you get a reaction, like again with doing the shows, if you say a certain thing and then you get a couple of texts, oh, okay, that's a sweet spot, and then you go back around there, like you'll go back to it, back to old things, and I don't know, it's just what's relatable.
Yeah,
what's relatable, like I said, what's relatable to you could not be relatable to me.
Sure.
Or the next person, and the next person.
Yeah, of course, and including myself, obviously a young presenter that's coming up through the ranks.
Yeah.
And is there any is there like sort of helpful tips? I know we've obviously touched on a few of them, and but would you kind of say like that unique angle, obviously kind of the work ethic behind probably some of that stuff and backing yourself, like?
Well, in a world where everyone's a broadcaster now, or everyone can be, that's actually not doing it to this professional standard, George. I love your lights out and everything, right?
Shout out the lights.
Shout out the lights. They look expensive, right? But not everyone's. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone now has the platform with Instagram, with YouTube. Like, Dave down the shop can pick up his phone and do videos now if he wants to, right? So the difference is you've got to be original in an even tougher world of being original, and so originality is the hardest. But it's finding those unique angles and go, well, how does this make me feel? Is it your real opinion? Yeah. That's I think, because you can always follow through with your real opinion. If I say, I think this way about something, and then you ask me another question. Sorry, I'm banging the mic now. Nice, and you ask me another question, and I don't really think that opinion. I'm just saying it because, for whatever reason, for Instagram, for YouTube. Then how? I'm going to sound like a liar within 10 minutes. So I'd say number one, if you've ever seen Howard Stern's movie, I forget what the name, Private Parts, right? That's if you want to do broadcasting, you want to do radio.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it.
Right, Howard Stern is a crazy American broadcaster, like all sorts of things he's done. Like he's had like porn stars on his show live, and also, which is crazy, right? That's one end of the extreme. To the other extreme, like is he'll do things. But one bit of advice I always took off that was like, never get caught in a lie. Like tell the truth. Because if you get caught in a lie by your audience, then they start doubting you, and then they're like, "Oh, what are we listening to this person for?"
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that with your friends, would you?
Yeah.
So.
And it's kind of like it's that authenticity, isn't it? And what I've liked about that for me is, I was going to touch on it, was like your YouTube of kind of dad mode
100, which I'm just trying to start. Like, I don't know how to be a YouTuber. I feel like there's just another market that, why shouldn't I try and do this? Everybody else is.
Yeah. But what I've kind of liked about it, really, obviously I know you've only got, to date it's like a few videos out, but like it's that kind of unique angle. Again, it's kind of that authenticity of like, I'm a new dad.
I know what it's like to be a dad yet.
Yeah.
So share it with me. And if it helps you, mate, this the absolute premise of it is, look, I don't know how to be a dad, but I'm going to do some videos about me working out how to be a dad. If you want to watch, hopefully it might help you. Because I found myself watching loads of videos whilst my girlfriend was pregnant, and I was thinking, these people aren't good. Not to be rude, but, I didn't comment and say they weren't good, just so you know. I just moved on.
I kept my opinion to myself.
But I thought, I can do this better. And so that's what I thought, I'll have a crack at it. But turns out, once you've got a baby and you start trying to edit a video or I want you to pose in that way, 6 weeks old, they're not doing that. They're not giving you the opportunity.
And I love it as well. Like, you've obviously got this, I was going to call it a stroller then. Wow.
Hey, hold on, he's American.
To appeal to my American audience, which I totally
What up,
have.
y'all?
The buggy, shall we call it? You obviously, there's one video where you're kind of constructing that, unboxing it, kind of, and you've obviously lost the instructions. They're everywhere. I kind of like that sort of like, guys, this is real life. This is like.
Well, I feel like that's about being real. What I could touch on what I was saying earlier is like, that's it. Like, a lot of YouTubers probably would have edited that out because they're like clean, like, but. That's it. Like, that's the first time I've ever opened a buggy. Like, I'm a 35-year-old man. I've had nephews. But until you buy a buggy, right? And that's that cost 2 times as much as my first car, right? So let's be real. I bought a car, right? I had a Fiesta when I started college. I had an F-Reg Ford Fiesta, and that was cheaper than my baby's first pram, right? And so like, these things you need to realize, like when unboxing it, you go like, well, of course I would never have tried to unbox a pram. It's not like unboxing a new player on FIFA on my Xbox.
It looks like a monster though, man. Like that.
It's all the gear, mate. It's good.
Yo, it's got like little suspender things.
Hey, don't even get me started on the rims. He's rolling with.
You're just like.
We're rocking. We went out on that. The girlfriend's parents paid for it, so.
Oh, okay. Well,
so if they're paying, no, not to be rude. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. That's amazing.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I was just being real with that video, and I feel. That's it. Until a dad opens or a mum or anyone opens a pram for the first time. Like, you'll do it one day, George. Hopefully, if that's what you want to do in your life, and you open a pram and you just kind of go.
Someone will love me, yeah.
But you will go. Actually, I've never opened a pram before in my life. Like, what am I expecting here? And then, I just thought it's weird. And so, sharing that experience, it might help one other person. Another dad might go, hey, it's true. That's weird opening a pram for the first time.
So one of the last questions that I'll ask you
sure.
is I kind of just wanted to get a little bit of an insight. Just want a little bit thing. And that is, I just wanted to know something like embarrassing or something bad that you've done on air. One like a broadcast moment that's gone horrendously wrong.
How long have you got? Right?
I was thinking there might be maybe 1 or 2 stories.
I mean, lots of embarrassing things. Like when you get things slightly wrong. Like I just remember, you getting all this feedback as a presenter as well. Like one thing that a lot of people also won't know is like, they don't see this side. They think we do the show, finish at 10 o'clock and just go home. That's but then I've got to then go into a meeting with a boss who might go. So we talked about this today. Yeah. And then I've got to justify saying that. And then he's going to give me feedback, which I'm going to think about on the next show. Like, how can I sound better?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a time when I was first getting into radio and I wrecked a show basically. Like, So in terms of we end up having a big fight, like the show, and
literally on the show.
On the show. So this is on my very first radio station. I mean, the team, we're all still great friends now, but obviously you're working with each other at that time in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And I'd say one of the hardest bits is like we all had a bit of a fallout, but we still have to do a radio show. There's the old showbiz saying goes, the show must go on.
Yeah.
So in between when the songs are playing, no one's talking to each other, no one's giving each other eye contact, no one's talking. Mics go up, morning. Like, it's like that was a real tough moment. Embarrassing times. How long? Like I got waxed for a charity once, and like I had a full back sack and crack and everything. And then my boss then was like, we did the video for it, and he was like, "Oh no, we're going to edit this down, like because we can see too much of you and all of this."
That's amazing. Sparky exposed.
No one needed to see that, and I didn't need that. Like that was a moment I won't be repeating in my life.
Actually,
I'll run a marathon next time for the charity rather than do anything like that. But can't really, like, I try and block them out of my head, I suppose. A lot of you say things wrong sometimes. You know, I've sworn.
Have you actually?
In between songs. So, yeah, we were recorded, again, at my old radio station.
Yeah.
But there's a bit on the desk where you can press the button, and even if the studio's live, you can overtake that studio and the mics can go up and it won't go out to the audience. Okay. But someone didn't press that right button, and it did go out to the audience. I was singing a song, I swore, and oh man, because there's a thing called radio monitor, so everyone in the industry, if they hear a rumor that that's what's going on, they'll go and hear it. But yeah that's happened. Just had things fall apart. Like I did a game on the show once where it just completely fell apart. Like the wheels fell off, but you kind of try and keep going, and it's just. You're there. There's a live mic in front of you. It's embarrassing, but again, it's character building. It's strong. It's like,
of course.
Everyone makes mistakes in their job. It's just that when you're a broadcaster and you're live, where you can't edit them out, everyone gets to see them.
So I'll leave it on this. I remember one of my favourite moments on Gem, and I've tried to block it out, but I was thinking of like little moments that happened, and I don't know if you can actually remember this happening, but there was like you had to sing a song for like one of the games. That was on Gem.
Not Kids Tell Fibs.
I'm not sure. It might have been a different one.
But yeah, because sometimes we just do songs for that little bit of feature.
And I remember that I was actually like, I'd kind of got caught in the studio in terms of like, I'd normally obviously been a different one, and I was trying to get out. But in my head, like obviously the doors are like well silent, so I should have just left. But in my head, I was like, oh no, I can't. And then I remember looking around and people were like starting to be like, join in the song.
Sing, mate. You're in the room. You're on the show. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
right?
And so I started singing. But I just totally I didn't really know the words. I was a little bit off key, and I went quiet, and then my voice was breaking. But but there was quite a dramatic end to the song, and so there's me kind of just going at the end or something like that.
We didn't need that, George.
And I just remember the producer just like everyone just kind of looking at me, being like, "Shut up!" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I just remember leaving, and I remember going back and sitting in, just being like, "Jordan, you idiot! Like you had one thing, you had one job." It's like I was bringing a coffee in, and it's just happened that I'm now singing on the radio. Like, how's that happened to me,
George? I don't remember that. To be fair, there's a lot of bad singing that goes on in that studio. Let's be honest, in your defence. But I mean, your coffee was always good, pal. Like,
I will say thank you so much.
But,
thank you.
But and any example to anyone else listening to what you were saying about learn the songs. Learn the songs, mate. What's wrong with you?
So as I do with every single guest that I have on the show, I kind of I give them like a couple of seconds just to plug whatever you want to plug. So if that's your podcast, YouTube, the show you're on, go for them all. Just go for
Let's see how succinct I can do this into this camera here, right? Okay, so what I say is check out my breakfast radio show weekday mornings on Gem. Play Gem Radio is the website, or you can just say, Alexa, play Gem Radio, and it will sort that for you. Right, then also, I secretly recorded My Boyfriend is Our Podcast. You can find it wherever you listen to your podcasts. We got about 78 episodes for you to catch up on, so have a go on that. And then my YouTube channel, which is, I'm starting it. Like, I'm a new dad. I've got baby nappies to change. It's not all about editing, but if you give us a follow on that'd be great as well.
Amazing.
That is Dad Mode 100.
And maybe we'll do an episode together.
Hey, mate, George, we can open a pram together if you want.
I actually, do you know what the weird thing about it is? I'd love that, and I don't know why.
Maybe next time we'll do it, and you trying to change a nappy. See if you can change a nappy better than you can clean a microwave.
Well, that has been all for episode 5 of Jordan Ritchie Podcast. Thank you so much, Sparky, for being on the show.
Cheers, George, for having me on.
And we'll see you all on the next episode. Goodbye. Boom.
Nice one.